Mountain Dew by Willard Asphalt. You're on regional radio and by OzarksOnline.com. Set to talk racing, another big program. It is show number 2 coming to the Lebanon I-44 Speedway this Saturday night. Things will get underway at around 7 o'clock. Brennan, Dylan, and myself here today, and we'll hope to see you at I-44 Speedway on Saturday night. Good program. Another big 100-lapper coming up.
I'm excited. The Wheel Simple 100. A lot of cool promotions with Wheel Simple last Saturday. Several drivers came out, and they've put a lot into it. They're going to have they sell tires and wheels, and then they also have side-by-sides and Spartan motors. So they're bringing 2 Spartan motors. We understand Mike Counterman's going to race one in the one-lap race. And so that's going to be worth the price of admission, watching Mike, because he can only make about 1 lap. And I can't remember who's racing against him. I want to say Michael Jorgensen, but I'm not 100% sure. But that's going to be kind of fun. They have a Mark Martin edition mower. So they're going to lap around the inner track with that. That's going to be a lot of fun. But, a couple guys are coming in from Nashville. Tanner Arms is going to be our guest here in a few minutes on the show. Cole's coming back. Tony's coming back. One of the things now that I've got to watch the race and Dylan's got to watch the race, I think a couple different people have had videos up. The 56 car, nobody talked about, I think they knew Tony was coming, but I don't think they knew that they were coming like that level. That the Rowdy manufacturing cars have been very, very good. Boris Yurkovich went to Berlin last Saturday night, and that was their big opening night, which I do like. They're doing the same exact program that I-44 is doing. They're doing 4 or 5, I think there's 75 lap races. And Boris went up there in a new Rowdy manufacturing car, knocked off Brian Campbell. Brian's been down here a lot of times for the Mercy Masters of the Pros race. So it was cool watching that. And, that's kind of Van Dorn Racing Development and Seneca's home track. So, the Rowdy cars are very good. And I think you saw that on Saturday night. But, Cole, Terry Williams is very smart. Cole's a very good racer. And to think that they're not going to come back and be better, they had a parts failure there. So who knows how that race would have even turned out. Was Cole saving tires? Was he not? So that was exciting to watch, and a lot of good things I saw out of the first race. Wasn't very great in my seat, but it was probably pretty fun in Dylan's seat during the race.
Of course, you had a voice failure last week, so we didn't get your input on opening night. My gosh, it was just one calamity after another, it seemed like. And you personally were involved too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we had a clutch go out. When you've been away for a couple of years, one of the things I didn't is, do this clutch in, thinking, hey, it's what you run for crate motors. It's what we've always ran in crate motors. You don't need it, word of advice, put a 3-disc in. So Mandy Chick had the exact same thing happen. We were fortunate enough, we had a couple extra clutch discs, threw a new clutch in, and then had a parts failure. But the good news is we've Phil Harper's helping us out a lot on that, and found us another motor to use for a couple of weeks. And so we will be there Saturday night with a different piece and ready to go. And I was excited about that, being able to be back, and a little nervous of not making back. It's a lot of work and a lot of time to get it back. But the new bullet will be dropped in the car, and hopefully everything works out good, and we can make it 100 laps. That's our goal, is to finish right now. Yeah. But it was a big hit for the points. Brian talked about last week's show. He had a big hit, and we did too. I mean, we're running for points and running for the whole year, and to go out opening night and drop a goose egg and, have a DNF opening night's not good. Cole's got the same problem. So that puts both of us in a hole there. I know he's going to start Asphalt Late Model Series title. Everybody's going to have a bad night. And
but if you've got 18 shows, you can kind of absorb
you
one.
only have, in their instance, you got 5. And then if you're running for the track title, you got like 10. I mean, you don't have I think you got 10 nights. 10. So you've got, there's our one bad. So we got to make the other 9 count. And, these 5 big ones got to count, and then the others. So we got a big hole to dig out, and a lot of, Jake Peel, he had trouble. They found their problem. I saw they were at the dyno and found whatever problem they had. Well, Jake's going to be fast. He was super fast last year.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder and be ready to go. Jimmy Van Zandt, you go back and watch that race. Jimmy's car was fast, and he had just some bad luck and some different situations that he didn't want to be in. You give him a clear track and get him out front, watch out. I mean, you've seen what he did.
It came alive about 20 laps in.
Yeah, that car at the beginning of the race fell back, and then whatever happened, they figured it out, and that car came to life, and holy cow, it was fast. And at certain times of the race monitor, Jimmy was the fastest car on the track by quite a bit. So to think that 67 car is not going to be right there and fast, I think that's one that you've got to look at. And then Joe Ross, how many 100-lap races has he won in his life? A lot of them. He used to dominate those 100-lappers out in Colorado and that series, and how many wins at I-70. So there's just so many good racers that have good cars that you're going to have to beat and run with. So
Veropoulos ran the majority of that feature on 7 cylinders and was still keeping up well.
On 7 cylinders.
Yeah, so once he gets all 8
that car is going to be fast. Steve Holt
was a rabbit. Yeah. He was head for the first 13.
He was gone, and then something on the car went away, and they just kind of felt like they needed to save their stuff. Rue had some problems as well. They're trying to get their car figured out. I mean, when they get that car figured out, that car at times was very fast last year. So there's a lot of guys that can run up front. I've heard Kenny Dickinson's thinking about running the 100-lapper. Don't know if that's rumors. Don't know how true that is, but he was very quick in the Big Ten feature. They put 10-inch tires on that car. He's won enough races that he feels like he can run in the top 5, if not compete. Then that's going to be another hat thrown in the ring. So there's a lot of cars that can win on Saturday night, and it's going to be fun. Dylan had a really good race, and that was his first time out, first time
car. So first time with other cars was the feature.
Yeah, so I mean, that's going to everybody's had a couple weeks to get their stuff right. So if you're going to catch anybody sleeping, opening night's the time to do it. Now it's time to see what everybody's got. That everybody's had 2 or 3 weeks to get the cars better.
I keep for Tim Swearingen. He ran the first 50 laps with hardly any brakes and still managed to pull off a third place.
And if that car is so fast on restarts, and that is cool to see with the Pro Late models having the different engine packages. I think a 9-to-1 on a 2-barrel. That car is really good for 10 laps, and it doesn't matter. When you're in a high horsepower built motor like that, it's really hard to keep that thing good for a long time. And so that's how you balance everything out, is knowing, hey, that car is going to be a rocket ship for a short run. It's not going to be fast in the long run. A crate motor is going to be better in the long run. So it's going to be fun to watch. A late race restart, as fast as that car is out front, you're not going to catch it. It's going to be a lot of fun Saturday night.
That's a quick 100-lapper, wasn't it? I don't know, maybe 5 caution flags?
Not very many, yeah. And I think that everybody races, it seemed like, was racing with a lot more respect. And, the restarts were still pretty hairy. But, it wasn't a Bowman Gray demo derby out there, so that was good. And I think that it'll be that way this week too. Still a lot on the line, a lot of money on the line, and sponsor out there. You have that. They got a really cool wheel, some really cool wheels they put together for trophies. So those wheels look good on somebody's wall. So people are going to want that trophy on the wall for sure on Saturday night.
Out on the Evergreen Parkway in Lebanon, wheel simple.
Yes.
Are they going to have an event on Saturday at some time during the day?
They had an event last Saturday. Several guys had their cars out there, but I think they're going to have a couple different things with giveaways. I know, check their Facebook page out. I think they still have some ticket giveaways going on there as well, and then lots of promotions. If you go buy a set of tires, I know they're doing a huge ticket promotion if you buy a set of tires right now. So definitely, if you're looking for tires and want to go to the race cheap, go check that out. And then they have came, and this is what I'm really excited about. So Wheel Simple came on board with the track, and they're going to do $50 a carload into your parking Saturday night. So cram as many people as you want into your car. 50 all you can get in there on the wild side. So
that's a big saving.
That is a huge savings. And then they're having Fort Awesome Hour from 5 to 6. So it's $10 grandstand admission from 5 to 6 o'clock for adults. Of course, the kids 10 under are free. So if you're trying to save a little bit of money on your admission prices, get there early. There's going to be plenty of on-track activity with practice going on all the way up to qualifying. So get there early, check out the check out the displays and everything going on there, and you'll get to save yourself. It's half price admission. So a lot of people were saying we're concerned about ticket prices. Well, here you go. You got $10 to get in. So get there from 5 to 6. It's $10, or go to the Budweiser Wild Side, bring your grill, tailgate, have a good time, and it's $50 a carload. So to me, that's going to be an awesome savings.
Back with more. Just, hold on. We'll take time out and be back with more after this on Regional Radio.
Got Tanner on.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the 800
Okay.
channel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
We'll get Tanner on
Yes, sir.
the phone.
That's what I was thinking.
You bet. Let you talk to Brennan here, and then we'll put you on the air. Hold on.
Shifting swearing.
I saw.
Hello. Hey, you ready to we'll put you on speaker here? You're gonna get we're on the Facebook Live right now, but we'll want your career, just ask you some basic stuff about your career and everything that's going on, and get you up there. So we'll put you on here in just a second.
All estimates are free. Give Willard Asphalt a call today, 417-532-7107, or visit them on the web at willardasphalt.com and give your car the smooth ride of the
Ricky Barker's in the car instead of Dusty this week.
Dusty had a modified.
Yeah, Ricky Barker's in that car.
To win a pair of tickets to see the Cardinals in St. Louis. We'll be giving away a pair of tickets every month. Go to myozarksonline.com.
We should have some kind of bet if Ricky Barker wins. We gotta get some kind of deal on that. We having our bet again?
I was asking the parking lot. I was like, "Are we betting again?" Or
Huh? We need a bet again. Well, that's some of our Facebook listeners. They got up something ridiculous.
something I really
We gotta
don't want
try
to do.
sushi. We're gonna make that happen.
Ricky Bobby Racing.
By Regional Radio, AJ. You know, for some people, it seems like
Seconds first loser.
Oh Lord. So if you are, remember, guys and gals, if you are looking for discounted admission and stuff, $50 a carload into your parking, which is a heck of a deal. Cram
Oh, yeah.
a bunch of people in your suburban truck,
I mean,
whatever.
You can easily get 5 in a car, and that's $10 a piece. That's a
Yes,
steal.
that's still. Go that way, or happy hour from 5 to 6. Definitely check that out.
18 after 11 o'clock. I really cut Jim off before he's about to.
Oh, you're fine. I was just about, with the $10 entry fee for 5 to 6. If you guys are, worried about not seeing stuff like Brennan said, there's going to be on action. Pull out the Race Monitor app. You can see out in Pro Late Models. You can keep up with times that way. And there's always something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, if you don't, you're looking for a way to enhance the racing. Everybody's got smartphones now.
Yeah.
There's an app called Race Monitor. It will give you each individual lap times during late feature. So if you want to know how people are, who's fast, who's not, you can check that out. And obviously scanners, lots of guys' frequencies are published. If you want to know a different, listen to it on the radio. Some of them get a little bit animated sometimes, but
I
you ever
think
watch
the best,
radio?
the best
Give
part
on,
of
Fox
my
Sports 1.
week last week was listening to your GoPro. You could hear you talk crystal clear in your GoPro, and it was awesome.
When we knew we blew up. Yeah, and I even kept it PG. I was proud of myself.
You did.
So
Special guest, Brennan. Who do we have on the phone?
So we got Tanner Arms on the phone. Tanner is making his Ozark Late Model Series debut and coming all the way from the his national regular at the fairgrounds, and they got rained out. And Tanner is headed up, going to follow Cole Williams up the down I-44 and check out the racing this weekend. So we're excited to have him on the phone with us and his racing career and what all he's got going on this year.
Tanner, looking forward to coming to Lebanon.
Yes, sir.
So you've been a regular at Nashville. Kind of give everybody, our listeners, just an update. I know your whole family says you got brothers and trucks, and you're in a pro late model. Just kind of give our listeners an update about what the Arms family, how many cars you guys have, and what's your career path right now.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I've actually got 4 other brothers, 3 that are older and 1's younger, and we've got probably here at the shop probably 7 or 8 cars, different cars. my youngest brother, he's actually running in the Super Truck division in Nashville, which is a lot like, I think, y'all's Big Ten series that y'all run.
Yep.
And one of my oldest brothers, he's actually running a Pro Late model at Highland Rim, which is probably a lot like y'all's Pro Late model series before. But yeah, I got into the late model last year. Moved up from a Super Truck like my little brother runs now, and it's been quite an adventure. It's definitely a lot different than the Super Truck and what I used to run, a little Pro Mod car, which has a 4-cylinder motor in it. So it's definitely a big jump, and we're really excited to come up to Lebanon this weekend and see what we got.
So now when you're running the Pro Mod, that was on the 5th mile or the quarter mile, I'm sorry, at Nashville. That is a lot of fun. A lot of our listeners have been to Nashville. A lot of our fans have been down there, but we've got an inner track at I-44 a lot like that, and that's obviously where that. Tell everybody about running the Pro Mod on the inner track, and it's always a lot of fun to watch the quarter mile at Nashville, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always puts on a pretty good show. Which, I mean, there's hardly no banking at all, so it's a lot of beating and banging and stuff to pass each other. It definitely puts on a good show for the fans. It's worth every minute of it, which they also have 4 or 5 other classes on there. I think their limited late model division this year is probably going to be the best to watch, just because everybody in there is in contention to win every race, and you're so door to door. You have so much action going on every lap that it's definitely worth watching. But the Pro Mod, it's pretty much just a late model with a 4-cylinder motor. So it was a lot of fun to run on that track. You know, they handle so good, but you have so little power. So, you know, you're in the gas so much. It just puts a lot of wear and tear on the equipment, but it's also a lot of fun.
The Pro Mods out there are a lot of fun to watch. Talk about, you went to the trucks, with the trucks race on the Nashville's a big high bank 5/8 track. The trucks go on the 5/8. Then you move to the Pro Late model. What was the big difference between the truck and the Pro Late model for you?
For me, the drivability of the Pro Late model is just a lot more consistent. You know, when you're toting around with the Super Truck, you're toting around 3,000 pounds versus 2,700 pounds, and you're on conventional type springs with the truck and coilovers with the car. You know, it's definitely a lot different. You can tell, you can drive the car a lot harder for a lot longer, and it lasts a lot longer than the truck would, just because they're so heavy and you're shifting so much weight around. But I think the biggest difference is probably the horsepower. I mean, you can feel the weight has a lot to do with it, but you're turning lap times that are almost the same difference, which doesn't seem much, but really is when you're on a big track like that. So, but yeah, it was definitely a big compare for me. The Super Truck, with most of the stuff on it, you having a gearbox, type steering system versus a rack and stuff. Just the wheel input that you have in the cars, versus Super Truck versus a car, you have a lot less wheel in the car, and it will go further than than when you're turning the wheel and stuff. So it's definitely a big difference for me. But I really love the Pro Late model a lot. It's a good class to be in. We got a lot of good competitors at Nashville, and I know there's going to be a lot of good competitors this weekend at Lebanon.
So the big bump out of turn 2 in Nashville, that was one thing that I raced the first time. It was a big eye opener to me. I'm sure that bump is a lot more fun going across the truck. It's not on a bump stop than it is hitting that bump exit 2 and the first time in the bump stop. It's pretty sketchy, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, in my Super Truck, one of the first times I got out there in practice, I actually spun out coming out of turn 2. I hit that, and just all the weight difference is so much different. It just, it spun it right around. But, with the car, it handles so much better stuff. But, a lot of people try and miss it, stay up a little higher and stuff. But hit it, you hit it, because it upsets the car a little bit. But, you just got to have it down good and everything. I think you'll be fine.
So Nashville, really historic track, and then a lot of buzz right now on Nashville. NASCAR coming back. Rumor, SMI obviously talking to it. Bruton Smith, which they own Bristol and all that. And what's the excitement level that you guys are going to be ready like at least a truck coming to possibly in the next couple.
Yeah, it's really exciting for the guys like us. Just being there. I think even if NASCAR does come to Nashville, it's going to help not only the drivers but our sponsorship proposals. Like you have when you're trying to go out and get sponsors, and you don't know what kind of exposure you're going to get when you've got NASCAR coming and your sponsors maybe being able to be seen on TV, maybe on some billboards at the track or anything like that. It's going to help us local guys out a lot, as far as sponsorship. But as far as the town goes, everybody's really excited. We don't know for sure what's going to happen, but we're really hopeful that NASCAR will get back in here and it'll turn things a lot.
So your family races at Highland Rim. So Highland Rim is a quarter-mile bull ring, is what I would call it. Looks like I've never been there. Watched a lot of videos there. Of course, they have the Bandit big rigs. Went there a couple of years ago that have come to I-44. That are coming again to I-44. It's a quarter-mile bull ring. Nashville's a high bank, very fast, long 5/8. You're headed now to I-44, which is a very fast. Any other track you do, or what advice? Leaned on Cole quite a bit. You got any good advice for coming to I-44 yet?
Yeah, I've been picking at Terry and they're just getting them to help me and stuff, which they're gonna be helping me Saturday. But they've been giving me a lot of good advice. Keep the nose clean and run hard or I'd say not even run hard, just lay back for the first 50 laps and make sure you got everything under your belt. And then for the next 50 laps, just, pick people off one at a time if you can towards the front. They've got a lot more experience than I do up there, so I'm going to listen to them. They're people. I appreciate them helping me a lot. We're really excited about getting up there. We'll probably be up there Saturday morning sometime. So it's going to be fun.
So your goals in racing, I know you've got a really good 3D printing business you got going. You made a lot of components for race cars. Dylan's getting over here excited about it as well. I know I'm excited to see your products you're going to bring to the track. What got you into racing and what are your goals racing going?
Well, my dad actually got me into racing. He used to run a mini cup car, which is like, it's a lot like a go-kart with a little, NASCAR body on it. He used to run those So of course, my older brother, I've been at the racetrack ever since I was little, so, it's hard for me not to race because I've been around it so long and I've gotten so used to being at the racetrack, spending every weekend at the racetrack and stuff. But, that's what got me into it. My goals, it's not going to NASCAR or some type of just a truck race or something like that. I'd really like to work my way up to the Super Late Model division, which they have a lot of races all around the country. I think if you're going to put your money in, that would probably be, bet. Yeah. Just about because you have so many different tracks to go to and so many tenders, top notch. So I think if not going to NASCAR, that would definitely be something I'd want to do every weekend.
Big All-American 400 was rained out, of course. There's a big super late model race coming up week after next, actually, in Nashville you're talking about. And then, of course, the All-American 400 at the end of the year. You're running the Pro Late Model. Obviously you're looking at the Super coming up, but what's your goals as the Pro Late Model Series in Nashville? I know you and Cole are competing for the title. Is Casey Roderick going to step in there and run for a full season there again?
Yeah, I believe he is.
It's going to be a tough battle there. Casey's, we've talked about him on the show. He's been to I-44. All these guys, it seemed like, have been to I-44. Yeah. Casey, Cole, Willie Allen's got several good young guys coming in there. Yeah, Michael House really dominated there last year. Who's your favorite, or who you think you're going to have to beat at Nashville, and then who you think you're going to have to beat this weekend at I-44?
This next weekend, or our next race in Nashville, I think some of the top contenders will be Cole, obviously, Michael House, You got Jackson Boone, he's really good. Dylan Fetcho. There's just a lot, there's a lot of people that are really, really good at Nashville that I look up to, obviously, because they've been doing it longer than I have, so I kind of learned from them. And but this weekend at I-44, I think Cole will be really fast. Brennan, you might be really fast. I don't know. I haven't even been there. I don't even
Who
know
knows?
what
You
the
said.
like
Hopefully
is.
we get lucky. Hopefully we get lucky. I hope you're right. So, and hopefully you're fast, and we're looking forward to you coming up there this weekend. I know our fans will be looking forward to it. I'm sure you'll be hanging out next to Cole in the pits after the races. You're in a blue 8 car, and tell us your sponsors and your expectations for the weekend.
I'm looking for I say for a good weekend, it'll be, keep the car in one piece. Hopefully a top 5, it just depends on what all we got working for us. And my sponsors, the convention center, convention center in Nashville for all the visitors and stuff. R&B Transport, Santa Fe Cattle Company, Old Dominion Company, and all those guys make this our racing program possible. And without them, we wouldn't be racing, or we probably wouldn't even be able to travel like we're going to be able to this weekend if we didn't have their help.
I got one more question, and we're going to put a former I-44 winner on the spot here. I know Corey Doozer's talking about coming this weekend, so how much pressure? I know you've made him a nice GoPro holder, and I know a lot of our guys are interested in those
I'm looking
GoPro
at one of
holders.
those.
How much pressure are you going to put on him to bring the old 14 car back to I-44 and try to pick up another win here?
I've actually been pretty hard on him this week. I've been trying to get him down. He says it's still up in the air as of now, but he said if he doesn't come to race, he's going to come spot for me. And he said, we're going to take you to victory lane, is what he said. So
There you go.
we'll see. Maybe he'll come race. I hope he does.
Yeah, Corey's always really fast here, and I think he'll be good now. I've watched him win a race at Winchester and racetracks like that. He's very good and a good racer. Look forward to you coming here on Saturday night, and I know Dylan and I are going to have fun racing with you, and bring some of those 3D printed products. A lot of the racers and fans will be interested in those as well.
Have a good trip up here. Appreciate it. Good interview.
Yeah, Tanner's a good upcoming racer, and if you're not familiar with 3D printed products, so they a lot of places in Lebanon will be familiar with that. Obviously, the manufacturing town, but they can take an AutoCAD drawing and 3D print plastic, and Tanner's very good at that, and doing a lot of products on race cars, from brake ducts to GoPro holders and stuff like that.
That's really cool, that GoPro holder, because it also acts as a visor for your helmet.
Yes,
that's a pretty cool,
very neat
invention he's got there.
So you see a kid that knows, hey, I want to make a career and want to get to the next level racing, and he's went out and made his own company and, making products to print, manufacturing his own products for race cars and for thousands of other industrial applications. But they're pretty cool. One of the mirrors on one of our cars is a 3D printed mirror, and even the oil filter holder is. So it's something that's new, but it's cool to see a guy like Tanner say, get involved. It's an AutoCAD program. So many places like Detroit Tool Engineering and MTA in Lebanon have that. So to me, it's interesting to see that and see that technology. Of course, with Missouri S&T and Rolla right there, you have a lot of kids in our area to say, what's the deal in racing, and you see racing, what it is. Well, racing, if you have a kid that wants to be a good race car driver, one of the biggest things you got to tell them, which we're going to be telling kids at Maple Crest tomorrow, you have to be good at math, and you've got to be good at technology. And look at all the technology in the Cup cars and at the short track, and look at the technology that they bring to the Hornets. People think of things, and I think what's cool about racing is you see quote unquote redneck ingenuity, right? And it went from a bunch of buddies having a good time in their shop and using their ideas and putting it onto a car, to now you see stuff that they learn at the racetrack. That's why General Motors and Ford and Toyota spend millions of dollars, is because they learned from that. And so seeing a kid like Tanner, make a product that he can sell, he's going to bring that to I-44, sell a little bit, and he's trying to make a name for himself. And this is a cool thing, and this was the whole idea of the Ozark Asphalt Late Model Series. Get cars from Nashville, get cars from Oklahoma, all the surrounding states. Make a big special for these guys to come race, and then defend our local guys. Dylan and I and Tony, we want to defend our home turf. And we want that money to stay right here in Lebanon. So we'll see how it goes on Saturday night, but really looking forward to the Wheel Simple 100 for sure.
How old is Tanner?
I think he's 18, 19, maybe.
He's not
not very old, college-age kid, you know. Just
Right around my
Sounds
age.
older than what he actually is.
Yeah.
Yes, and but really cool that, you know, the families are racing, and that, you know, they're talking about bringing the little brother. If they have a good weekend, he's going to come back, and he's going to come back with a truck, you know, and that's going to be cool because his brother can race the Big Ten Series. So cool to see the synergies between the two racetracks. You know, feel terrible for Nashville. They've got all this going for them. You know, they're really the cool thing in NASCAR right now is Nashville, right? And
They had 4 rainouts or something like
yeah,
that.
3 or 4 in a row,
Yeah.
and they've had terrible luck. But hopefully their rain gets turned around, and there's nothing I like seeing better though than seeing a guy like Cole that has won a track championship here. And I thought it was real rewarding to all of our local racers and to our fans. You know, why did Chrissy Wallace, Matt Wallace, Cole Williams, Corey Doozer, why do you guys come race here? Because if you can win an I-44, Cole goes as a rookie to Nashville the next year and wins the track championship. If you can win here, you can win anywhere. And it's really cool to see that and see how guys go to the next levels. And whether, you know, a guy like Tony Jackson that started out racing asphalt, went and raced dirt, raced some trucks, you know, and I think he feels like that the asphalt helps his dirt stuff, because look at Jonathan Davenport, you know, look at these guys that have came off the asphalt and been successful on dirt, or vice versa. So it's a lot of fun to see that, see all racing just kind of, you know, work together, and it's kind of fun how it all is the same.
Yeah.
Whether somebody says dirt racing's better or asphalt racing's better, if you want to be the best in the United States, if you want to be the next Larry Phillips, then you do both. And why was Larry Phillips the best? Because he could win on both.
Yep.
Jeff Purvis could win on
Bubba
both.
Pollard picked up his first
Bubba
dirt
Pollard,
track a couple
yeah,
weeks
he's
ago.
got several dirt late model wins at Sonoa, you
Yeah.
know, on the crate stuff. Larry Moore, a guy that, you know, maybe Kevin will remember. Larry Moore was a great dirt racer and asphalt racer, and there's guys that could go back and forth on both surfaces, and those are unique. And to me, if you can do both, then you're a standout. Raymond Merrill makes his first asphalt start, and you know, runs second the other night, and
See you back this Saturday?
he's back this Saturday. Really excited. We got out of the car and talked to him on the phone Saturday, and he's like, man, I wish I'd have done this asphalt deal a little bit more. You know, no telling what I could have done. He went to West Plains and had a very good run at West Plains Saturday night, finished 4th, and won his heat, and just, you know, he was really good at that racetrack. And that's why I told him, when you get in the race, you can keep your car clean and you can drive straight up off the corner and be smooth throttle, you'll be fine. And he was, you know, that car just kept going forward and forward, and
Right on the yellow line, too.
right on the bottom. And it had a lot of forward bite and a lot of dig in it. So I was watching that mostly from the infield, unfortunately, but you know, watched his car, and very happy for Raymond. You know, he's giving asphalt a shot, and he had a good time, and he didn't like the sitting around, and I don't blame him. And that's the one thing that I am glad that we are doing at I-44 is the asphalt. You know, there's so much practice on asphalt, and seems like we're doing a lot less of it here at I-44 Speedway and than a lot of other tracks. And this schedule like it will be for every other time. You know, pit gates are open about 3 o'clock, and you know, there'll be kind of a come as you go practice. And I think practice starts at 3:30 till 6:30. You got 3 hours of testing, so you practice all you want. You can figure that out in that 3 hours, which is a long time, especially compared to dirt racing. But you know, a lot of tracks, they start really early in the day, and I think that's the problem of asphalt racing is you got to get to the racetrack at 8 o'clock in the morning. And you know, when you got a family and you're want to go hang out with your kids, it makes it tough. Well, now you can go eat lunch, hang out, do whatever you want, show up the racetrack right after lunch, and
The
go
race
to the
car
track.
driver's got to be first in everything. We got
That's
to be
right.
the first ones to the track.
First one to the pit
ones onto
gate,
the
that's
hot
right.
lap, or first one on the track for hot laps.
Yeah, it's crazy that you know, who always somebody wants, you know, make sure you're there. And it is as a driver, you want to be there early. You want to be unloaded, your car on jack stands, and just know you're there. Even though you've checked it over 15 times at the shop, it's just nice to know it's there. that stress is relieved, and so it's going to be a lot of fun to watch how testing goes Saturday and what goes into Saturday night for sure.
Just kind of a simplistic thought here, but got a good facility, got a good car count, and you got cars on the racetrack that can run top, middle, and bottom well. You got good racing.
You do, and that's what I think's great about I-44 is you talked about Raymond being hooked up on the bottom. I saw a lot of guys running the middle, and you couldn't get
On
to the
restarts, I would
marbles.
run the top.
Yeah, the
We
top
were all
is an
everywhere.
advantage on the restarts, and you don't have Bowman Gray is probably the most well-known short track right now, and they get huge crowd, a huge following, and it's fun to watch. But at the end of the day, the racing at Bowman Gray is not good.
Yeah. They have a cone rule just trying to make the
force
racing better.
people to go to the outside on restarts. Well, we tried the cone rule at I-44. What happened? Everybody doubled up because it doesn't matter if you're on the top or the bottom. There's an advantage to both sides, and so double file restarts makes it exciting, and you can race side by side and race hard and really lots of room in a very racy track, and that makes it fun for sure.
Ozarks Racing Roundup Show. We are 18 minutes before 12 o'clock. We'll take another time out. We'll be back with more after this.
Call at Willard Asphalt and get
That makes my phone hot.
When it's hot spotting it.
Yeah.
We got Talladega to talk about, and we've got nothing really regionally. That was a big win for JC. Won the big B-Mod race over at last lap at Lucas Oil. Chris Jackson won here. Now Midway runs Friday night. World Outlaws come to Eldon Friday night. That's kind of cool. World Outlaw late models, sprint cars. Lucas Oil late models are at Granite City, so we can hit on that as well. It's a big weekend of racing. Hopefully Peebley's not flooded. They got a World of Outlaw sprint car race Saturday night. Last week they were flooded, the entrance road's still flooded from the Merrimack River.
They're making a big Midwest swing, the World of Outlaw sprint cars.
Yeah, they're here.
Peebley, Eldon.
What are they Sunday night? They're somewhere Sunday night, I think, but I can't remember. Yeah, I've thought about going to Eldon and watching that Friday night, but I can also stay home and watch Lucas Oil race on my big screen.
Yeah.
And that doesn't cost anything, and I'm at home.
Ozarks Racing Roundup Show. Great to have you along this morning at 16 minutes before 12 o'clock. Regional Radio and myozarksonline.com. Lots of great racing on the dirt last weekend, and a lot more coming up this weekend.
There was J.C. Morton picked up a big B-Mod win at Lucas Oil Speedway. Chris Jackson got the win at Midway. Chris is having a good year. Andy Bryant got his third win in a row at Humboldt. So your B-Mod National Championship, you can kind of see that playing out.
Yeah.
Gilmore will get hot, and
he won at Springfield.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So Gilmore's going to be hot, and it seems like these same four guys that have been the national champions, I think, have got to be kind of your early season favorites with Chris Jackson, J.C. Morton, Ryan Gilmore, and Andy Bryant, and they're all winning already. And so that's going to be fun to watch this year, as well as watch how that battle plays out. Billy Moyer picked up the win at West Plains in the Comp Cams Super Dirt Series. It's his second win of the season in that series. Cool to see that. West Plains always puts on a great dirt race, and really cool. Hard to believe it's been 10 years since the Show Me 100 was there. The last Show Me 100 was there 10 years ago. So, of course, that race has moved to Lucas Oil Speedway. Will come up Memorial Day weekend. Big event this Friday at Eldon. They are having the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. That series then goes to Peevely, to I-55 Raceway, which they've had terrible luck with the Merrimack River. You hate seeing that for them. And Kevin Gundaker and gang, they're having the Louisville Late Model Series Friday night at Tri-City Speedway in Granite City, Illinois. And that's always a great race to watch. I know Lebanon and St. Jackson will be racing that race Friday night, and then they're bringing the hauler back to Lebanon, and they'll put the dirt car on the back to unload at Granite. Then they'll probably, I don't know if they'll probably won't unload the pavement car in the dirt pits at Granite, but pavement car will be in the hauler, and they'll make their way back to Lebanon on Saturday. So pretty cool event. And the Lucas Oil Late Model Series goes to Macon, Illinois on Saturday night. That track is smaller than Midway, and it is a bull ring, and there are 100 laps there on Saturday. I think that's Bobby Pierce. That's a Bobby Pierce playing ground. Bobby picked up a big MLRA win in Iowa last weekend, and you go to Iowa, and really it's Shannon Babb, Bobby Pierce, and the other guy that everybody forgets about is Brandon Shepherd. But a World of Outlaw race, obviously Brandon won't be around, but Brandon Shepherd is so good anywhere he goes right now. But he's so good on those tracks, and I think Tyler Erb will be one to watch this weekend at Macon, especially. I think he's aggressive, and it's gonna be fun to watch. Tyler Erb and Pierce are two young guys that are kind of going at it. And of course, Granite City on Friday night, you'll have Shirley, a lot of local guys. Brian Shirley, Tony Jackson Dingner won that race a couple of years ago. Yeah, he's gonna be very tough to beat there. It's probably it's one of his favorite tracks. There's so many good guys locally around the St. Louis area that will be there on Friday night. So a huge weekend of racing, and then a big 100-lap feature at I-44 on Saturday night, Simple 100. A lot of other good racing going to go on, though, too. Focus a lot on the late models. The modifieds, Brian Brown's got his motor back. You guys had him on the show last week. He's excited to get back.
Yeah. Gonna Ricky have some Eisner got this week.
I think there will be. I think there'll be several more. Beat. So now they went to whole. Whether they had a problem or not, they've done their homework, and they're going to be coming back looking to knock off Richard Lewis. We talked about Richard being a sleeper.
He made a video yesterday, I think, talking about how he's going for his first back-to-back win of his career. So Richard's hungry for that back-to-back win.
Yes, he is. He's going to have to come from the back. So he's going to be chasing Ricky, but
that car's very good on a long run, though.
Yes, you talked about that, before, and there could be a long run. And if there's a long run, he's going to be tough to handle. I think the Big Ten feature is going to be wide open. Jimmy Phone had a flat.
Kenny will be at the back.
Yep, Kenny will be at the back, and really, you put Jimmy coming from the back, or Jimmy, if he starts up front and Kenny's in the back, that's going to be an exciting mix as well. So, are you going to do double duty, or are you?
I don't think so.
You're not
sticking with the pro late model.
Sticking with the pro. So we'll
be back the third race.
Race.
What is that? May 14th, something like that.
Yep. Bolivar had their first race over the weekend. I know you went out there and had a little fun there. Brian Lewis got the mod win. You got the Big Ten win. The street stocks. I don't know the results in front of me.
Yeah, I actually blew a radiator hose while I was at Bolivar, so I missed some of the races while I was
Trevor
got to win.
How did I not remember that?
Yeah. Trevor is going to be very tough at I-44 this year, and I ran second at I-44 opening night. Matt Pilot won. I think Douglas's are going to be cracked pretty quick. Matt did. Yeah, he's going to be tough. Matt's a very good racer, and that red 7 car is going to be back pretty quick. When that red 7 car comes out with the 67, and then think of all the other 15 cars it seems like can win every week in the street stock class. That's going to be fun to watch.
Steve Shaw picked up a heat race win.
Black week. Betty's coming.
So he's going to be up there.
And then the Hornets.
At Bolivar, Patty Taylor won the Hornets.
Yes, that was her first win, or first ever race. So it's cool that she picked up that win.
They had a decent little wreck over there in the Hornets. I was surprised that, Bolivar's a really fun track. And that was the first thing I noticed when I rolled out there was, man, that wall is right there at this place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bolivar's a lot of fun, but that wall is right there and it's very tricky. And you get out of shape there, you're gonna find the wall. But Bolivar's a pretty cool place, and it's very racy, and it's I'm glad to see it back open. Hopefully they'll have a little more success this year than they did last year. I think they're going to try to do some things later in the year that I think will bring some late models in and bring some other classes in, and it'll be a lot of fun to race over there. I've never actually got to race over there. I've tested a car there years ago. It was the first place I ever drove a stock car was Bolivar, but I like you. It was a lot of fun to drive.
I plan on running there pretty regularly this season, so if we can get some more Big Tens out there, that'd be great.
And I think with Bolivar being open, you're going to the asphalt car count's growing. The Big Ten car count is great already, and it's just getting bigger and bigger each week. We had Tanner on the show. His brother's probably going to come up here and run some truck races this year with the trucks being allowed to run. And that's going to be interesting. And I think it's cool seeing the trucks out there, and you've got the trucks and the cars and intermingling and seeing how that works. And the Hornets, on the intertrack, that's the big draw at Nashville, is watching the racing on the quarter mile at Nashville is more, you really come to watch a fight and a race breaks out sometimes there. It is just so exciting to watch. And the same excitement is Lebanon I-44 with the intertrack. Yeah. And Dustin Atkinson got his first ever win. His car owner, Ricky Barker, is going to drive the car this weekend. You've got the Albright boys, brothers, duking it out. And, little Mason Mundy, he got him a win last year, and he's hungry for another win. There's so many good drivers in that class that it's going to be a lot of fun to watch the Hornet feature. And hopefully I don't have any mechanical problems. I look forward to just watching the races this Saturday night. But they're going to have some late model drivers signing autographs after qualifying and stuff like that going on. So there'll be a lot of fun things going on for the fans, and really looking forward to the Wheel Simple 100 this weekend. Don't forget, $50 a carload. Yeah. Everybody wants to talk about the carload nights. Here's one of the chances for a special event carload night. So, pack your Suburban, your Tahoe, your truck, whatever. And, it'd be cool to see a bunch of people packing in a vehicle and maybe you got to park a little close so you don't get a ticket for overriding or pull in the grandstand parking lot and pile in a car. But have fun, pack in your vehicle, bring your barbecue grill, go out and have a good night. You can bring a whole, you got family of 8 come out for $50 and you bring your own, bring your own grill, bring your own drinks, beverages, whatever, and have a good time. So, as a driver, it's cool when you go on that back straightaway on the wave lap and you see the flash and you see the people holding up their Bud Lights to you, Nothing better than getting saluted by a beer, even if it's thrown at you after the race.
You can hear everybody on the back.
You can really hear
cool.
And it's a lot of fun to see that. Yeah. So it's always to me, it's always a fun night. Part of the night is watching the tier parking, and the drivers feed off of that. They really do. And when you on a caution lap and you see guys, cheering you on, sometimes they're telling you they're number one. Yeah. That gets happens to you a lot of times too if you do something not so smart. But that part is that that's what makes it fun to race is having a big crowd like we'll see on Saturday night, and seeing the people get into it and cheer you on. You do as long as they're making noise, it's a good thing.
Yeah,
right?
Just wave either way.
Yeah, wave either way. But one of my favorite memories as a kid was
Morton about that.
Yeah. My favorite memories as a kid was Larry one night getting out of the car and a guy booed him, and you could hear this guy yelling all the way across. So however many beers in he yells all the way across the racetrack, and you can hear him in the grandstands. And Larry Phillips waves at him. He says, "Thank you, son. Appreciate you coming in tonight. I'm going to eat on your money." And I always remember that and laughed, Larry kind of put the guy in his place. And Larry did get booed, man. The cowbells and the boos. I remember that every week as a kid. You'd hear one or the other every time he made a move, but it was always fun either way.
Well, Sunday, coming off Easter break, is it going to be a wild race at Talladega?
No stretcher plates. Everybody, all these old timers have been griping for 30 years. They didn't want to see restrictor plates. There's no restrictor plates this weekend. So no plates.
No plates forever.
Yeah, they're gone. They're off. Yeah. Restrictor plates are gone.
I'll go Keselowski.
Whew, that's a good pick.
I feel like I know who you're going to pick.
I'm going to stay in the Ford camp, and I'm going to go with Logano.
Oh, man.
I'm going to give the people what they want and pick the 9 car?
No. I'm going to go with Stewart Haas Racing. I'm going to go with Clint Boyer. I know this isn't a short track, but Clint's been running good. He's got confidence.
He has. He's got a lot of confidence.
If you're confident on a super speedway track, you're going to be making aggressive moves, and I know Clint will try to get to the front.
So I want to know, are we going to be coming in here on Monday or on next Tuesday? Are we going to say good lap, bad lap about the new rules package of the restrictor plate? This is the first, I heard Ryan Blaney on NASCAR Radio this morning. Nobody knows. Like they're thinking practice is going to be fun to watch. Nobody used to practice at a plate track. So what do you think? Is it going to be a good thing?
I bet it'll be a good lap.
I think so too. What do you think, Dylan?
I think it'll be a good lap until it's a bad lap, because there's going to be a big one with the cars being grouped up like they're going to be.
I think you're going to see a big closing rate, and I think you are going to see several crashes, including one big crash. Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people watch Talladega for that. I don't necessarily do that, but that it is what it is. And I think that you will see an overwhelmingly positive reaction on that. I think you've seen a good reaction to the new package. You know, whether or not, you can't go off what you see on social media. What you can go off of is you can look at the TV ratings and you can look at the, you know, the digital ratings. Everything's up for NASCAR. So this package has worked, and, you know, I'm excited to see what happens at Talladega. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yep.
Good show, guys. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
See you guys Saturday night. Remember, $10 happy hour in the grandstands from 5 to 6. So come early and watch us get ready for the Wheel Simple 100.
See you at I-44 Speedway on Saturday night. Today's show brought to you by Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and Willard Asphalt. Thanks for joining us on Regional Radio KJL.